$7.6 billion. Think about that number for a moment. Not in a year, not for an entire movie franchise. $7.6 billion in just 60 days. This isn't the gross domestic product of a small nation. It's the revenue that one investment firm is predicting a single video game will generate in its first 2 months on the market. The game, of course, is Grand Theft Auto 6, and the sky-high expectations surrounding it might not be nearly high enough. Today, we're diving headfirst into the absolutely mind-bending predictions for what is shaping up to be the biggest entertainment launch in human history. We'll break down how a game could possibly cost $2 billion to make, whether you'll be forced to pay $80 just to play it, and explore the truly revolutionary features being whispered about in the background. Features like a platform that could let you build your own criminal empire inside the game and get paid for it, and online lobbies so massive they could redefine the very meaning of multiplayer chaos. The numbers are staggering. The ambition is off the charts. And the question is no longer if GTA 6 will be a hit, but how profoundly it will change the gaming world forever. So buckle up. We're heading back to Vice City. The scale of the financial predictions for Grand Theft Auto 6 is almost impossible to process without context. Let's start with that headline number from the venture capitalist firm Convoy, $7.6 billion in 60 days. To put that into perspective, Grand Theft Auto 5, the previous record holder and a cultural phenomenon in its own right, earned $1 billion in its first 3 days. That was considered an earth-shattering achievement, the fastest-selling entertainment product in history. Convoy is predicting that its sequel will make more than 7.5 times that amount in just 2 months. Let's look outside of gaming. The highest-grossing film of all time, Avatar, has made roughly $2.9 billion worldwide over its entire lifetime, including re-releases. Grand Theft Auto 6 is projected to nearly triple that in 60 days alone. This isn't just about breaking records. It's about creating a new stratosphere of commercial success that no one has ever seen before, placing a single game's launch revenue on par with the quarterly earnings of tech giants. This astronomical figure likely assumes not just tens of millions of unit sales, but also a significant uptake in higher-priced special editions, and, crucially, an immediate and massive influx of cash into the game's online economy, whatever form that may take. But to make that kind of money, you have to spend an unprecedented amount of money. Convoy's analysis operates on the assumption that the game itself will have a budget of $2 billion. $2 billion. This figure is, for now, conjecture, but it's a number that sends shockwaves through the industry. For comparison, the most expensive video games ever made, titles like Cyberpunk 2077 or the perpetually in development Star Citizen, have budgets estimated to be in the $400 to $500 million range. Rockstar Games is potentially spending 4 times that amount. The most expensive movie ever made, Star Wars: The Force Awakens, had a budget of around $450 million. What on earth could Rockstar be spending $2 billion on? The answer is everything, amplified to an unimaginable degree. A full decade of development time is the starting point. This involves a massive global team of thousands of artists, programmers, writers, and designers, all receiving salaries for years on end. Think about the research and development required for the next evolution of the Rage engine, the proprietary technology that powers the game. It needs to be capable of rendering a world more detailed than anything we've ever seen, while also managing the complex physics and artificial intelligence systems for a city teeming with life, all while supporting hundreds of simultaneous online players. Then there's the cost of asset creation. Every building, every vehicle, every pedestrian model, every weapon, every piece of clothing. Each one has to be designed, modeled, and textured to a near photorealistic standard. This includes extensive motion capture work not just for the main characters, but for countless non-player characters to ensure their animations are fluid and believable, creating a world that doesn't just look real, but feels real. The licensing costs are another black hole for cash. To create an authentic feeling world, you need an authentic soundtrack. We're talking about potentially hundreds of licensed songs across a dozen or more radio stations, featuring both classic hits and tracks from today's biggest artists. Beyond music, there are the implicit licensing costs associated with creating parodies of real-world brands, from cars to clothing to technology, which requires a significant legal budget to navigate the fine line between parody and infringement. And, of course, a marketing campaign so enormous that by the time the game launches, there won't be a person on the planet who hasn't heard of it. We're talking Super Bowl commercials, massive billboard takeovers in Times Square and Shibuya Crossing, and global partnerships with major brands. It will be an advertising blitzkrieg designed to make the game's launch a global cultural event. With that kind of investment, the pressure to recoup it is immense, which brings us to the price tag. The analysis assumes a base price of $80 for the game. This has yet to be confirmed by Rockstar, but it aligns with a growing industry trend of pushing game prices up from $60 to $70. An $80 price point would be a bold and potentially controversial new benchmark. The CEO of Rockstar's parent company, Take-Two Interactive, Strauss Zelnick, has a very particular way of phrasing this. He recently stated that there is, quote, way more value to a consumer than whatever that consumer pays, end quote. From a corporate perspective, this is a statement of supreme confidence. They believe they are delivering a $200 experience for an $80 fee. For gamers, however, it can sound like a justification for charging as much as the market will bear. It will undoubtedly spark fierce debate, but the reality is that millions will pay whatever price Rockstar sets. This move signals a new financial era for blockbuster gaming, one where the cost of entry continues to climb, justified by the ever-increasing scale and development costs of these mega projects. Yet, the most fascinating predictions aren't just about the money, they're about how the game will fundamentally change the way we play. Intriguingly, Convoy believes that Grand Theft Auto 6 will introduce a new UGC platform. UGC stands for User-Generated Content, and it's a concept that has already created billion-dollar ecosystems in games like Roblox and Fortnite. For Fortnite, this is the Unreal Editor for Fortnite, or UEFN, a powerful toolset that allows creators to build and publish their own high-quality islands and experiences within the game. For GTA, this would be a revolution. Imagine a system where talented mod creators and players aren't just tinkering with the game on the side, but are given official tools by Rockstar to build their own areas of the game. We're talking about players designing their own complex, multi-stage heists, creating custom car dealerships with unique vehicle tuning options, running their own nightclubs with custom music playlists, or even building out entire new neighborhoods in Vice City. The prediction goes even further, suggesting a creator economy that mimics UEFN and Roblox, where these creators could potentially be paid for their efforts through a revenue-sharing model. You wouldn't just be playing GTA, you could be making a living from it. This transforms the game from a static, finished product into a living, evolving platform that constantly grows and changes based on the creativity of its community. If the thought of building your own criminal enterprise inside GTA and getting paid real money for it blows your mind, do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps tell the algorithm that this is the kind of deep dive gaming analysis you want to see more of. This one feature alone could guarantee the game's longevity for a decade or more, constantly providing new content far beyond what Rockstar's own team could ever produce. It democratizes game design and creates an endless fountain of new experiences for players. But the ambition doesn't stop there. One of the other bombshell predictions is that Grand Theft Auto 6 will feature 200-person lobbies. Let that sink in. The current GTA Online experience, which can already feel chaotic, typically supports around 30 players in a single session. Now multiply that by nearly 7. Imagine what a 200-player Vice City would feel like. It's not just a bigger lobby, it's a paradigm shift in what's possible in an open-world multiplayer game. Picture a city-wide police chase involving 50 different player vehicles, with news helicopters, piloted by other players, broadcasting the chaos live. Imagine a massive turf war between 200-player factions fighting for control of the city's lucrative smuggling routes, block by block. Think about a complex, multi-stage heist that requires the coordinated effort of dozens of players to pull off, some acting as a distraction on one side of the city while another team executes the robbery on the other. The potential for emergent, unscripted gameplay is simply off the charts. Of course, the technical hurdles to make this a smooth, playable experience are monumental. It would require an incredible networking infrastructure and push the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S to their absolute limits, likely leveraging advanced server technology and clever zoning systems to maintain performance. To add another layer of intensity to this chaotic world, the forecast also includes a system that allows other players to steal weapons and items from each other. This suggests a more hardcore, high-stakes environment. In this version of GTA Online, you're not just worried about another player blowing up your expensive new supercar. You're worried about them taking you out and looting your best rifle, your body armor, and all your gear. It creates a constant state of tension, where every interaction with another player is fraught with risk and opportunity, making the world feel far more dangerous and alive. And what would Grand Theft Auto be without its deep connection to popular culture? Rockstar has been famously secretive about the game's details, but at least one leak has gained significant traction: the suggestion that the artist Drake will have his own radio station in the game. The radio stations in GTA have always been the soul of the game, providing the soundtrack to your chaos and crime sprees. Featuring a global superstar like Drake isn't just a cool cameo, it's a statement. It further cements the game's status as a cultural touchstone, blurring the lines between its fictional world and our own. It's a signal that the world of Vice City will feel contemporary, relevant, and plugged into the zeitgeist in a way that only Rockstar can achieve, likely satirizing the very nature of celebrity, influencer culture with one of its biggest names at the center. Finally, let's talk about the game's sheer gravitational pull on the entire industry. The official release window is set for the fall of 2025, though many analysts, including those in this report, are preparing for a potential slip into 2026, with one outlet even pinpointing May 26, 2026. The timing is less important than the impact. It's been estimated that if the game is pushed out of its initial 2025 window, that delay alone will cost the video game industry $2.7 billion in projected revenue. This is because Grand Theft Auto isn't just another game on the calendar, it is the calendar. Other publishers, large and small, plan their entire release schedules around it, trying to avoid being swallowed by the black hole of its launch. A delay from Rockstar creates a massive vacuum in the industry's financial forecasts and forces a frantic reshuffling of the entire year. The fact that one single game holds that much power over an entire global industry is a testament to its unparalleled scale. The success or delay of Grand Theft Auto 6 can literally shape the financial fortunes of countless other companies. The fact that one game can hold the entire industry's finances hostage is absolutely wild. If you want to stay on top of every development in this massive story, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because you won't want to miss what comes next. So, what do we make of all this? We have a game with a rumored $2 billion budget, projected to make over $7 billion in its first 2 months. A game that may ask you to pay an unprecedented $80 at the door. A game that promises to hand the keys to its world over to the players, allowing them to build, create, and profit. A game that aims to throw 200 players into a single session of glorious, unpredictable chaos. Grand Theft Auto 6 is shaping up to be more than just a sequel. It's a statement of intent from Rockstar Games, an attempt not just to create the biggest entertainment product of all time, but to build a platform that could define the next decade of interactive entertainment. The expectations are astronomical, but if these predictions are even partially true, we are on the verge of a seismic event that will be felt far beyond the world of gaming. The only question that remains is, can they possibly pull it